Hi everyone, welcome to Mindful Crafts and More. I'm Katrina. If this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. Take a look at this video or any of my other videos, and if you find yourself inspired, join my channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you just hanging out with me for a bit. So, hi everyone. I thought I would do a video just to share how I am going about working on the sleeve portion of the faux swag sweater. So I decided that I wanted to do both sleeves at the same time because that way I could easily see the number of rows that I have and the color sequence, and it would make it easier for me and take some of the guesswork out. So now in doing that, it did require some preparation. So the preparation that I did was I took my full cake of yarn and I went ahead and sectioned out the colors. So this particular one has about 6 different colors in it. So as you see here, I have them all separated out. So I took each individual color and then I took those individual colors themselves and separated them into 2. That way I could actually use one portion for one sleeve and one portion for the other sleeve. I still do have some remaining because I only did one of each of the colors within the cake of yarn. So this is what I have remaining just in case I may need it, and we will see how it goes. All right. So now how do you do that? So in doing that, I am actually keeping it on the same circular needle that I was using as I was doing the full portion of it. And I figured I should be able to separate each of the colors out, because in doing this for the whole sweater portion, for the body portion, I have nice large stripes and it was going all the way across. And in doing the sleeves, this portion here, which is for the midsection and then section off for the collar section, I'm not doing that. So I still have extra yarn there that is going to go and get incorporated into the sleeves. So I figured separating it out like this would be easy to do. All right. Now, the way I actually did it was I took the color and I had one portion of the color and I found both ends of the yarn. And I held both ends of the yarn and then just kind of pulled it until I got to what would be considered the middle of that. And then I cut that to make it 2 halves. And then went ahead and wound it using my yarn winder to get these 2 small mini cakes for each color. All right. And then just to make it easy, I have them separated here from darkest to lightest for the blue portion and for the green portion for this particular colorway. So I hope explaining that helps you guys out, and then having a visual of the mini cakes that I have made helps you as well. Now, as you see here, I have already sectioned off for my neck portion and I have already started working on the sleeves. All right, so one of these sections was actually the yarn from the original portion that I was making because it was a continuation. The other one I actually had to add on. So if you see right here, I added on yarn in order to get this portion, but I've actually been working on them at the same time. All right, so I'm ready to do a color change and I wanted to share that with you so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, and maybe you might consider doing something like this as you are working on either this particular knit along or anything else for that matter. This may be something that you may want to consider doing. All right, so I'm ready to add on a new color and I am on this portion here. All right, so I'm going to grab my next color here because as you see here, I'm going back along this way. So I'm going to be reversing the sequence of the color from the way I did it before, because before I started at the bottom and worked my way up. So I'm going to find this color here, which is right here, and I'm going to start working on it. All right, so take a look and see what I'm doing, and hopefully this will make sense to you. All right, so I'm going to grab my color. I'm going to find my end. And I'm going to just get ready to do my stitches with the new color. All right. All right. So I'm going to put the stitch in here. Add this on. Do my stitch. Pull this one to make it a little shorter. Not shorter, but so that it's not so loose. And then undo my second stitch, and I'm going to use both of the strands to do that. And that should hold it in place. All right, so now let's see if I can pull some yarn out. Okay, so now I'm ready. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop that one, and I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the sequence, and this is just according to Jay's pattern. Jay explains exactly what you need to do, and she also shows you how to do adding on of new yarn for your knitting projects. So please go and check her out. She explains very well what to do and how to do it. And my knitting might not be as easy for you guys to see, but I am going to do my best to just show you what I'm doing, and hopefully it will make sense. Right now I'm purling. And as you see, once I did those first 2 stitches, it's just the same as if you were working on any other project. You're just working with a new yarn. Okay, and I have my marker, so now I know I need to do the appropriate stitch. Okay, so now I have finished for this sleeve right here. So now I need to go to the next sleeve, and I know that because I'm going in this direction and I still have this remaining on this side of my work. So now I'm going to move this over, okay? But this is a new sleeve, so I'm going to drop this one, okay? And I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the other side, okay? I'm going to wind this up because it's coming loose a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I'm ready to work on this one. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the other one. I'm going to go in to make my first stitch. Add my new yarn. Give myself a little bit of room. Do the second stitch using both strands. And I can pull this a little bit. Okay. Now I can drop one strand and just continue on with the pattern that I'm doing. And that should be enough to hold those stitches in. Let me give myself a little bit more yarn. I tend to hold on to my stitches because I do not want them coming off of the needles. So my work, my fingers are staying close to it and it may be obscuring what I'm doing. But I'm basically just doing purl stitches here. And I try to keep my finger on the stitch so that it doesn't slide off too easily. And so I'm I'm sorry if that's hard for you guys to see, but I'm basically just doing my purl stitches. And the only difference here is that I'm working with two different little mini cakes of yarn, because I want to do two at a time. Okay, now I'm at the end here, and I am going to turn my work. Okay, and now sometimes as you're working on it, you're going to have to just adjust your little small cakes of yarn. All right, now in doing that, I turned my work, but I don't have to do anything really with this. Just keep the yarn above what you're working on, and that way this part doesn't get tangled, and you can see if it's twisted as you turn it, that you can just reverse where your little small cakes are. All right, so now I'm ready to go back, and I'll show you where it was that I added on so that you can see that. This side is easy because it's just the same stitch. So this is where I had the two right here. So all you do is you just knit both of them. Okay. And it's on. Okay. And that's all you do. Nothing else. And it is done. Okay. All right. So now you go to the next. So you drop this, and then you go to the next section. And we're done with this section, and then you work with the next section. Okay, so now once again, I'm at this section here where I'm getting ready to go ahead and get to where I added the yarn. So we're going to do it here. And you see you have 2 here. You just go underneath both of those and take them off. And all done. Okay. You can pull this to make it a little bit better for you. And then I sometimes will then take this yarn and pull it to the back. So that it's at the back. And if you want, you can tie it. All right, so it's in the back now, and that looks really good. Okay, so now you're going to continue on with the remainder of the work until you complete your project. All right, so that's how I am doing my 2 at a time sleeves for the faux swag sweater. I hope this is helpful. So I've now completed this particular color for the sleeves. And you see I have both of them done. They're both exactly the same because I did them 2 at a time. So I'm ready to now add on my next color, and I'm going to head and do that, and then I will be at a good stopping point. So I just wanted to show this to you so that you can see how I added on. When I started, I was here, and now I have done that whole sequence. And it may or may not be exactly the same number of rows as it was further down in the sweater, but I'm not so much worried about that as I am just making sure that each of the sleeves are done with the same number of rows with the colors. That makes it easy because I'm working it 2 at a time. This is what I have remaining. All right, so I don't have a whole lot remaining, but I want to try to keep the color sequence and the length of it the way it is in the body portion of it. So I'm just going to stop here, going to add my new color, and then continue on with the tutorial as Jay has it. So if you all have not checked her out, please go and check out Jay over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam. Also check out Setta at Setta's Place. See what they're up to. Let them know I said hello. And I know you're going to be inspired. Again, this can work for this project or any other project where it requires you to do something that you have to do multiples of. Sometimes there is a way that you can work on those at the same time and still be able to get it accomplished. So I hope this was helpful for you. To each and every one of you, please do everything you can to be mindful, do everything you can to be at your best health, and by all means, continue to be crafty every day. Share your gifts, be inspiring, and be inspired. I look forward to seeing you again in one of my videos or one of yours. Bye-bye now.